And we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first installment of Trash TalkerZ, name not yet final, your bi-weekly scene-related Dragon Ball FighterZ podcast. Today, I have a lineup, ladies and gentlemen, on the right of me. There you go. There is the one and only C4IQ. Below me, we have the only Dunk. And to the bottom right of me, we have NickVee. And I'm just going to unmute these guys so they can get a word in as well. There we go. Gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of Trash TalkerZ. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Yo, what's up? Hey guys, if you don't know me, I'm Dunk, the commentator. I commentate various fighting games, and by various fighting games I mean one, Dragon Ball. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to know about me, to be honest.
I mean, I did see League in your Twitter profile as well.
That was from a long time ago, a very long time ago. We don't talk about that.
No updates now.
Nah, none. Absolutely.
Ouch. All right.
I'm NickVee from the Dutchies. I'm also a commentator /TO/ Dragon Ball FighterZ player for Dutchies.
Great.
I'm C4.
Last but certainly not least.
Don't gas me up. I stumbled, amongst stream in Twitch, and JayFree picked me up and said, "Yo, I've got a home for you." In this top right hand corner of my stream, we can put your face. So yeah, shout out to Nick for housing me for a hot minute. But yeah, to C4, yeah. I don't do anything special. I just talk.
Yeah, for those that did not see the tweets that were sent out, the idea is basically we talk about the current state of the scene. Of course, we are in the midst, or as I say, at the end of a very, very interesting and turbulent year, so to speak. Almost no offline events. Almost every single event has been online. So the year has been interesting. So we got a lot to talk about on the agenda today, or at schedule today. Of course, we're going to talk about last night. France, wow, that was something to behold. That was insane, the match that we saw. Also, we're going to talk about upcoming events, especially next week. On Sunday, we have, of course, the Japan Regionals, which is going to be played offline, which is great, in my opinion, because probably the highest level of play is arguably in Japan. And we saw Goichi being hit by 6 M's online. That's not possible. So they're gonna do that offline. We're gonna talk about that, and of course, next week we're gonna see most likely a character reveal, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what we want to see, or what we hope to see, or what we think we're gonna see. So yeah, that's basically it. I guess we'll just start off by talking about last night, Wawa and Kaiden. Of course, there were two other very, very, very good players in last night's playoffs, but man, that last set, dude, I was all the time. I was on the edge of my seat. It went back and forth. I was not able to call it. What's your take on that, C4?
Can you do me last? Because I've got something to say, but I don't want to ruin the tone. Let me go last, please.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Well, I guess my fellow Dutchie NickVee, go ahead.
It was sick. That's all I can say. UI Goku, please go away. Please stay away. But I think it was sick. Like, it went back and forth, like you said. I think Wawa was just on steroids. And I think the last two games he played, I think wasn't Kaiden in the lead with 4-3?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, now Wawa I don't know what he did, but maybe some drugs,
I think he switched up his team the last two games, right?
Yeah,
he switched to Yaku as well. Yeah, he pulled out the UI, and yeah, and at that point, Kaiden was he was a little bit flustered. It looked like he was not really prepared for the matchup, and yeah, it just kind of fell apart. Of course, he held his own very well, but I want to say, especially that last match, it looked like Kaiden was out of steam. And speaking about, I want to, after I get Dunk's and C4's perspective, I want to together look at last match, because I think that was, the last match was, of course, the most important, but also it told the biggest story of the whole set. There was, mostly it was back and forth with the last two games, so we might actually look at the last 2 games, is when it probably flipped a little. So before we go into that, I want to get Dunk's and C4's perspectives in as well. And as C4 wanted to go last, Dunk, go ahead.
Yeah. So France nationals, I think everyone in Europe knew that it was going to be super high level. But there's a lot of people from outside who are now looking at France and saying these guys are the best in the world. And I've said it on my Twitter. I tweeted that out. The best player in the world might be in France right now.
I saw that tweet. Yeah, that was.
It's a bold claim, and I'm going to stand by it for now. But yeah, no, France nationals was amazing. I think they have a group of very talented players, and it is very obvious that they have a group of very talented players who help each other get better. But just that last game, Wawa versus Kaiden, was such an amazing game. I think all the games went 4-5 or 5-4. So, like, just the fact that they're so close, anyone can take it from anyone in France. So yeah, great competition, to be honest.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, C4. That's up to you.
So my little piece is, I didn't see all the match. I jumped in to watch it. If anyone doesn't know, I want to say I'm the number 1 Kaiden fanboy, because I was saying Kaiden's the best pre-wanted. I've always said he was the best. I don't know why
Discuss.
But I've been saying Kaiden's number 1. But if you go into any other Discord, they'll be saying they're tired of me talking about how sick Kaiden is. When I saw the chat, it reminded me of times where people give excuses to top players for why they don't perform. And then I kind of switched off. Like, my brain switched off, because Kaiden's beat Wawa in a set before. I think it's 2-1 to Wawa, I think, set-wise.
Didn't he beat him twice?
Kaiden beat him GT wanted.
Yeah, and then in something again, I believe.
Did Wawa beat him in normal wanted? He must have, because he's wanted champion.
No, it was Wade. Wade won against Kaiden.
Oh, but he beat him twice. Right, then Kaiden is clearly the best. So what people need to understand is, not make excuses for your top player. Wawa is clearly sick, but if Wawa doesn't pick the team that he could win with, that's a Wawa problem. You can't make excuses for him not playing a specific team and winning. Or online, or whatever, because both players are playing online. It's not like Wawa's playing online and Kaiden's playing with no delay.
Bro,
so that's that. Go on, defend him, please.
Wawa started that set playing Verdell, bro.
So
I don't. No. I don't want to. I'm like I said, I'm not going to give an excuse. I'm just saying, man started the set playing Verdell, finished playing UIQ, and it was still a tight set. I think Wawa is the avatar.
He started. No. He started with this Gogeta team, which he beat Yasha with.
Yes,
by the way.
that Gogeta team was sick.
Didn't he go from Vidal to Gogeta,
just one game?
Other way around?
He went to Gogeta. I think he played like 2 or 3 matches. Then went to Vidal, played 1 match, got destroyed, and then he went to the Vegito team, I believe.
And that's what Kaiden too, right?
Look.
So
if Wawa's this good, right? He's the best. He can play every character. Apparently, and I don't disagree with that. He can play pretty much the whole cast, right? Him playing a weaker character shouldn't make a difference if he's that good.
Not at such a high level of play. It should not make a difference.
It did not.
So when people say, "Well, he picked X, Y, and Z character," it's like, well, if he didn't pick that character, he wouldn't be Wawa. He'd be a different player. He'd be one of the players that stick to one team. And then maybe he wouldn't be that good because he wouldn't understand every character. It's it's his quirk. You can't say Wawa minus him picking all these characters is the best, because that's what Wawa does. He picks the cast. So yeah, that's when I switched off, because people. It's not just Wawa. This happened at. I think this happened at UFA when people said, "Oh, Sonic Fox would have won, but he was tired from travel." It's like, well, that's what people do. They travel to tournaments.
Yeah, it's a weird OS. I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, it can be a reason that you don't perform at your very best, but I think if you truly want to be the best in the world, you have to be able to beat players at your worst.
Yeah.
Or just sleep on the plane.
Yeah, and what I wanted to touch up on something real quick is something C4 mentioned, which was really great. Wawa is someone that can pick up like any team and do great, and I think that's a great advantage for him, because he's because of that he has a lot of matchup knowledge, arguably the most matchup knowledge out of probably any player that's playing actively right now. His knowledge is huge, and I think that's a big part of why he was able to like switch out a different team. In game number 8, and take those games, and pretty handedly as well. Those last two games were heavily in Wawa's favor because he put in the Vegito. He got of course the UI, which people love to bitch and moan about. And of course his I think it's still his most iconic character, the base Goku. Wawa is the character that is the player that put base Goku on the map, even in season 2 when he was considered mid-tier, not super great, but that's when Wawa put him on the map. And I think that's like a huge boon for Wawa, just that giant matchup knowledge that he's able to pull out at every event he's been going to, especially last night.
Yeah,
But-
it's a double-edged sword. Like having so many characters and having such an understanding of them is going to make it harder for you to pick 3 characters out of like 25 that you can play at top level. Us mortals can only learn like 5 characters, so we don't have problems going, what team should I play? It's always this one, and we might swap out the third because we're just not that deep in the lasagna. But Wawa is the lasagna; he can play any character. So the downside to having so much knowledge is, well, if I pick this team, I can't counter this in his head because he's so smart when it comes
Playing
to
like mind games with
infinity.
yourself.
Yeah. Sorry, Dunk, did I cut you off? My bad.
No. I just want to say, like, it's a lot of people won't understand how important those last 2 games were for Wawa because he switched teams to what is arguably 2 of the worst matchups for Kaiden's team, right? In Vegito and UI. Like, those 2 characters are really good against Kaiden's team. And like,
Sorry to cut you off, Dunk. Hold that thought. I'm gonna switch to a new scene. I'm gonna actually play the last 2 games.
Okay.
So I got it all set up. I'm Mr. Streamer.
Production.
Yeah, production. We got it. So only
Except my cam.
y'all's name. Oh yeah, because you
Small
anyway. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna fix the stream, but keep talking about this match because Dunk. I thought you were touching on some good points, but I wanted to get the matches up as well.
yeah, so this Vegeta assist, right? Vegeta A is the bane of Kaiden's team's existence, right? Like, it is such a difficult assist for 18 to work around in general, and you see Wawa use it a lot to sort of stop him. And actually, that's why you see Kaiden starting off with UI Goku first. I don't think he wants to have anything to do with Wawa with that Vegeta out.
Yeah,
but was it really him? Because I think the UIA assist actually caught him a lot as well.
Yeah, UIA is also really annoying. Just generally, DPS is quick.
Especially that one.
I still also think that people underestimate Vegito A assist a lot because it gives it has a lot of hit stun. It got buffed like hugely in season 3, I think. So people have been sleeping on that assist as well because Vegito, of course, we've seen him in like EU East and now in France as well a lot. But I still think he's really underestimated, especially like online and in other like smaller scenes.
Oh, no confirm. That's rough.
And those counters. Wawa has been on point with those counters. I think that counter is only like active at frame 4. So because it doesn't give you blue health when you get a confirm off that. Oh, and this punish, man.
But that's just what Wawa is, right? Like, I could play Vegito, and if I got this punish, I'd do a B&B. But Wawa knows so much about the characters that when he puts himself in this situation, it's like I don't even fit for him. I feel like he's so comfortable being able to slip into a bunch of different teams like this. So I don't even worry for him anymore. But then like you cross the board and you look at Kaiden's team. Kaiden's played the same team basically. And I know that people are like, oh, what about Cooler? It's a DPS suspend. It's the same thing. He's been basically playing the same team for, what, a year and a half, 2 years now, to my knowledge? Not even. 2 years. 2 years it should be. But the difference between him and Wawa is he's perfected this team. He is the best at playing this team, hands down. Like, I don't think Shanks is anywhere near as good as Kaiden with the 18 UI shell, to be honest. That's just my take.
Oh, that's a big call out.
I mean, I will maybe. But I do think Kaiden is the best 18 UI that exists right now. He's amazing.
I agree, but also because I do think that France, by a huge margin, is the best country at Dragon Ball in Europe right now, like bar none.
Yeah, I don't.
And up next, we got the UK, Spain. They're like those are like, UK, France, and Spain. Not in that order, of course. I like the 3 biggest countries right now when it comes to Dragon Ball. And then when I look at like me and Nick's small putrid country, we got a long ways to go, man. We got a long ways to go. We only got commentators, man. We only got commentators, and we got Reza. That's all I want to say. We got Reza.
He uninstalled. He only plays Season 2 Dragon Ball Fighters.
Against crazy. Popo, right? He plays a lot against Popo.
yeah, he does.
But yeah, we got match number 8. And yeah, I think that match 8 was very critical at setting the tone for next match as well, because we saw Kaiden just struggling to do with this against this team. Because I love that you pointed it out, Dunk. You're very correct in saying that the team that Wawa's picked right there, such a bad matchup against Kaiden. Not only Kaiden's characters, but the way that Kaiden wants to play.
Yeah, it does. Like Vegito A is very good at stuffing movement. It's really quick, covers a lot of space, and Kaiden's, like, I would say, but the best thing about Kaiden is his movement. He moves really, really well, and Vegito being able to stop that, I think, helped Wawa a lot in this last 2 games.
What I also think is that Kaiden really likes to play, like you said, a bit keep away, like defensive, and I believe there were quite some moments where the Vegito Ki Blast just straight up beat Android 18's Ki Blast, for example, because they are horizontal.
Yeah.
But Vegitos are vertical, and even if the lowest Ki Blast whiffs or clashes with the Ki Blast, there's still the second orb that travels full screen and still hits you, ignoring those Ki Blasts you fire.
And also that jumping, like that Banshee Blast or split finger shot. If you super jump, you do that, it covers the entire screen. And from that height, you can do it twice.
Yeah, you can change the arc of it. You can change where it hits. You can change how you land. There's so much like intricacy to it, but like it's just a pain. I actually think Kaiden should have switched to Kefla Point to deal with it. Kefla has a couple tools to sort of assist her moving around the Banshee Blast. Right, she can 2-1-4S past it, 2-3 success. She has better Ki Blast to deal with people running in like close quarters, which is what Wawa does a lot. You'll see him just running at Kaiden. And I think Kefla could have dealt with it better. But obviously, in this moment, I don't think, having that much pressure, you're not really going to think about that kind of stuff.
And as well, you're 9 games in at this point. A lot of... it's not just physical execution that's important at this point. It's the mental stamina that comes into play with these kinds of sets. Not as much as a first to 10, but still... Normal set is first to 3, and then you're done. But this is a first to 5, up to 9 games instead of 5. So there's a lot more games. You need to think a lot more and a lot longer. And I think Wawa, with the, we keep talking about Wawa. We're gonna get into Kaiden, of course. But with that switch and Wawa still being able to play the way he does was insane, in my opinion, because they were already going 7 games on. Like, a mere mortal as I am would have been exhausted at that point. No, I'm not gonna lie. I would not have been able to play any longer.
I actually have a question for you guys, because I think they were talking about in Damascus's chat. Like, do you think it's an advantage to start in semis and like have to work your way to the finals, or is it better to start in the grand finals? Like, I think they were talking about before. It was like, yeah, being in the semis, you get that warm up.
I think it depends.
Ready for it. But
I think Nick touched on something really nice there. It depends per player. Some players are really good in shorter sets, but like when you look, this is like someone outside of Dragon Ball. We all know him. Like Daigo is almost unbeatable in first to 10s. He will figure you out. But when it comes to shorter sets, Daigo has been known to lose, even like 2-0 or 3-0. So I think it really depends on the player. And I think Wawa just had like the better stamina at that day.
That's not really the point what I was trying to make, but that one also counts. What I personally mean is that, yes, if you go 5-0 or 5-1 or 5-2, right, in that semifinals, sure, you get that warm-up, you get that win scenario. But in this case, Wawa went to 5-4 against Yasha. That's quite taxing. Not gonna lie, that costs a lot of energy, especially if you play in that high level, because they're all at high levels, and to then also have to play with that same energy again at a high level in the finals, I think that might be really taxing.
Yeah. And Kaiden was in like the second set, I believe, because we got Gila and Yasha in the first.
No.
Am I?
It was fourth seed was Gila with Yasha as third seed, and Wawa as second seed, and first seed was Kaiden.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
Kaiden was in the finals.
So you think, Nick? Would you think that Wawa, having played a set before, helped him, get some momentum going?
No, I don't think so, because they play a lot with each other, so they know each other, and Wawa probably played beforehand, right? They were probably playing until the match was done, and then Wawa plays against Kaiden. So you cannot tell me that they weren't warmed up. That Kaiden was not warmed up before they played. I'm 100% sure he did play beforehand.
I think like there's a certain player mentality that some people have. Like I'm not gonna say they have it. But when you get into, I think I talked to, was it Supernoon or LK? One of the two. When you get into the zone, right? When you get into tournament zone, it's completely different to when you're playing casuals, right? So what I think has happened, and it happened with Shanks, and was it Jonathan Tene? I don't think a single first seed has won, right?
No, it was the third seed, and now the second seed.
Right,
Okay.
So those people are coming through the tournament, and they're already locked in tournament mindset, and you can't recreate that any other way, right? So Kaiden might have been playing casuals before, but there's no way you're gonna lock him into maybe a serious mode before he actually gets into the game. So I think Wawa did sort of have the advantage when it comes to like being the hot hand. He's just come off 2 big 5-4 wins against Jilla and just against Jilla actually. He came off a win against Jilla.
Yasha.
Right? Sorry, Yasha. Yeah, my bad. But then going from that into then, okay, I now have to play Kaiden is like, I feel like you would be warmed. But like Kaiden has played nobody. Kaiden is sitting there waiting, watching, maybe trying to get an inkling of, something he can pick up from these guys. But I think it does suck to be first seed, actually. I think it really sucks to be first seed because you have to watch everyone play. And like, you want to go and practice and play casuals, but you also want to watch them play so you can pick something up. So I don't know. I don't think first seed is that good, actually, in this format.
That's a good point.
Massively.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I think so. Playing more games means more variables, which means you've got more of a chance to lose.
Absolutely.
Mathematically, I see that bit. Also, seeding and being able to watch players, for me, obviously this is like the personal, right? Some players do better when they're like got momentum, when they've had a button warm up. Some people are better just sitting back watching. I prefer to sit back and watch. From when I was competing, if I did like a couple of matches and then I was just waiting for, when you go through winners, you normally have to hang around and wait for the losers matches to see who your opponent is. When I had that opportunity, I would definitely watch those matches and go, oh, I know their tendencies now. But I did this in a different game. I never did it in Dragon Ball. I did it in a Guilty Gear. So it's a little bit different. But I think being able to watch what you was talking about when in regards to tournament mode, when people were in tournament, is a very different way they play than when they're in casuals. Now, some people watch people playing casuals and some people sandbag. Some people don't play properly because they know they're in casuals. When you're watching someone in their tournament match, in losers, they're trying their hardest. They're not covering or saving tech or anything like that. They're trying not to lose because they can't afford to. So when you see someone in that sort of desperate situation, which losers is because it's your last chance, you can get a lot about the opponent that you could go up against from watching those matches. And I think that's probably the most valuable thing you can have, and it's the biggest benefit of being in winners, is to be able to look at the losers and say, I can see you lot all fight for the scraps of meat while I'm just sitting here. To me, that's the best. So Kaiden being having the luxury to not stress about qualifying to get to that position, I think it's good. But like you said, on the other hand, some people thrive on coming from losers. there's a lot of players that go into losers, like Punk. He loves it. It's a game to him. It's a game to him. So yeah, it does depend on the person for sure.
Yeah, and I think you touched on something really nice once again, C4. There's a big difference in playing casual matches and tournament matches, and then arguably you have another level. You have to play regionals. That's like the best of your country. A lot of players would just like step it up a notch again. So there's, of course, you're gonna play some games to warm up. You want those muscles in your hands. You want them to be warm. You don't want any cold hands. You don't want to cram up mid set. So I agree. He probably most likely played some matches beforehand, but those matches are not comparable to the matches you have to play on stream. That's it's very different. So I do agree with that. But do we think that of course we like I lost my train of thought. My apologies. But do you think Kaiden would have won if the seeding was switched around? So Kaiden was second seed instead of Wawa.
No. as bluntly as possible, no. I think Kaiden is. We all know Kaiden takes a bit to warm up. There was a meme that Kaiden loses 4 games and then starts winning. But you don't really get that opportunity against the best of the best. And we've seen it. Like, I feel like what I'm saying is a bit disrespectful to Kaiden because he did. How long was his wanted win streak?
19.
Very long.
Beating Jilla, Yasha, Wade, Wawa once, right?
Kane,
Yeah.
Ogin, Popo, Silverblades. The best players in EU, basically.
The best of them. So, like,
Leffen, you might be able to throw in there. Bar Leffen, because he didn't enter. But everyone else, CB. No
I
car.
hate you so much.
Yeah, Leffen doesn't play Dragon Ball anymore.
He did, but no, not anymore.
He played like for 3 months. Then he was done. He entered one tournament, had that huge match against Goichi, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm done. Can't."
It's like I don't want to talk about this.
then yeah, he's beat all the best players in EU. Arguably,
he's still super good at that game.
Bar the Spanish because Shanks hasn't entered wanted, but he's beat everyone else, right? Kasuga, Obi, Rudy, like yeah, but yeah,
and like. So I guess he is okay in that like high pressure set, but like could he do it twice or 3 times? I don't know.
He did it 19 times. What do you mean?
No, as in a row in the same
consecutively. You mean?
I don't
the same day, right? Okay.
Could he have done it? I don't know.
Okay.
But I definitely think Wawa gained more from being 3rd seed than Kaiden got from being 1st seed, because I think Wawa just got to be very free form and play whatever bloody team he wanted in all of those games, right? And that's good. If you play loads of teams, you want to warm up all your teams against the highest level players, and that's what you got the opportunity to do, right? But I don't think it would have changed either way. I think Wawa is that good. I would even dare say Wawa's right now top 3 players in the world. Top 3 players in the world. Wawa Kaiden, maybe even Jilla make up the top 5.
Who would you put at number 1?
Goichi or Fenrich. Interchangeable, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Fenrich is. My eyes have been open to how good Fenrich is after Mace has been. Oh, sorry, C4IQ has been talking in my ears all the time.
I'm glad he got through.
But no, Fenrich is fucking. Yeah, Fenrich is bloody amazing, I should say.
I mean, you say Jilla, but we did see Yasha beat Jilla yesterday.
Yeah, Yasha's good. Mm-hmm. Don't think it's a fact. I've already stopped on Yasha before, and I got a lot of heat for it, so I'm not doing it again. Yasha is amazing.
Yasha's my boy, man. He won the good ass Dragon Ball 3 times. I had to.
Jilla is
hashtag shameless plug.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Jilla is like, I think, very good versus international folk, and I think that's what makes him better.
Jilla the Hook Killer.
Jilla the Hook Killer. He got the name for a reason, right? So I think if we send both of them off, I think Yasha has a playstyle where it would get so far, and then it might sort of struggle against newer people, because the kind of play style he plays, the keep away, the sort of I'm gonna wait for you to run at me, then I'm gonna run at you. That kind of play style works a lot better when you know the person you're playing, and like without disrespecting a lot of people, when you're playing stuff like Good Ass Dragon Ball, like he is on a different level to those guys. I think a lot of the people that enter stuff like that, he should be getting top 8 free every single time. I think it's an upset if he doesn't. And then once he gets to top 8 of Europe, it's his French buddies and people he beats on a regular. So he knows them fairly well. But if he gets, I don't know, if he gets double L offline, there's some stuff he might be throwing out that he won't necessarily know about. And you don't get 2 takes, right? You fall at that hurdle and it's done. But I think Jilla has Jilla plays the game in a way where it's like, I'm going to play, you're going to watch. That works against anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. Mm-hmm. If you're putting the Vegeta Vortex, you can be Goichi, you can be Sasuke Killer 49. It does not matter at all.
Yeah, Jilla has his tech doesn't discriminate. He will do the same thing to anyone. He doesn't care what your name is. You'll catch the Yamcha nonsense. 100%.
Dunk's gone.
I'm back.
And I wanted to switch topics real quick because we're talking like over almost half an hour about last night's set and about the French players. And I think it flows really well because I wanted to discuss the current meta. Of course, as I said before, bigger part of this year has been played online. Some rare events have been offline. And I'm talking about next week's event as well, which is miraculously going to be offline, which is going to be absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. But I want to touch on the meta, because as we saw last night, wonderful display of 4 of the best players in the world, of course. But would you guys think it would have turned out differently if these sets were played offline?
What region? All the regions, or
no? These 4 guys,
France.
Offline. Just France offline.
I think France offline is the only. France is the only region where I think the result would have been the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree
as well.
Because they are on PC, and PC has less input delay than PS4, straight up. And if you go online, then it's about the same as PS4 offline, or at least a lot of people like to say that. And I think it's true. You saw a lot of plays that people would normally only do offline on PS4 and not online. So in that sense, yeah, they have a really good connection to each other. So I think it would be the same.
I think more than that is when there's a lot of people that play at all levels, right? I don't think I've ever heard someone play a French person go, if this was offline, I would have won. Everyone else. French players,
nice.
When Noka beats you, you don't go, if it was offline, he would have finished his level 3 because he always drops his level 3. They're so consistent online. Mm-hmm. Going offline, I don't think it makes a difference. So if you lose a French person online, it wouldn't make a difference if it was offline. But all the other regions, I think it could make a slight difference. But France, they just accept that it's online. They don't moan about it. They don't bitch about it. They deal with it, and they have kind of surpassed. I'm sure they, get lag spikes and it's frustrating, but you never hear them complain about it. So you never hear people say, "Come see me offline," because they know they'll still catch the same L.
Mm-hmm. And I want to touch on one thing, and I am going to be lifting up skirts a little bit here. First 2 weeks of US East and US West, maybe not US West, US East more so. Wait, which one is which?
Cloud
East is on the east side.
Okay, East. First 2 weeks of US East. After the games, everyone was like, wait, we just realized online is a joke, so we're going to play around with this stuff. In France, people like Silverblades and Costco were like, I'm still not strong enough. I must win. These guys were fighting tooth and nail to get 1 win, bro. Like, there is a complete different mentality between, I would say, Europe and the US. I think in Europe, it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are. You're here to prove yourself. And I'm gonna plug UK nationals a little bit. Taser is a great example of that as well, right? Taser is currently number 1 in UK nationals, and it doesn't matter to him whether it's on Parsec, online, offline. He just wants to win. That is the kind of European mentality that we have, I think. But in America, it was like, actually, Subatomic Saber is using a power line, so I don't care about this anymore. I'm going for Dragon Balls only. You know, and that's calm. Do what you want. But at the same time, when people are making their power rankings and their tier lists, when you see 20 European man and 20 Japanese man, you're like, where's the Americans at? Don't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, there were messages saying that they had like 9 frame delay to each other.
It's online. What do you expect?
Yeah.
No, that definitely happened. I know there was people saying there was 9 frame delay, but it's online. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like going into a chip shop and going, they sell chips here. Like,
I think if France played at 9 frame delay against each other, they would be telling like, yeah, okay, this is kind of a joke, 9 frames. But
they wouldn't have 9 frames. They're not that. No. They're not like.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have 9 frames
compared to like Japan and especially EU. I mean US. We are relatively close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you have a wired connection and someone's not like watching 4K Netflix and Amazon Prime at the same time, you're probably gonna have a fine connection.
Isn't that why they split US into East and West though? So they wouldn't have that problem. And that's why they had 8 players, so they wouldn't have that problem. But like the point of having these kind of small invitationals is you can make sure the online environment is as good as possible for the people playing. I think if you saw the list of 8 players, and you thought to yourself, yeah, this person is laggy, this is going to be awful, you either should have raised that at that time, or
true.
You should have quit.
Yeah. I mean, someone did.
Sonic got asked, he said no, right? Beforehand. Christian is a complete different situation, because I think what he did was kind of whack. But
yeah, I agree.
He dropped out.
Kind of is an understatement, not going to lie.
But yeah, go on. Sorry, C4.
I was going to say, I get what Nick's saying 100%. Like, nobody wants to play in 9 frames delay, obviously. Mm-hmm. And most 99% of people who don't, play on, ranked wireless or whatever, aren't ready for that. But, so for me, if it's covered by, like, the developers or whatever, or it's in the game, then you should use that to your advantage. If I was getting paid to play online, you best believe I would go in T mode and practice my combos in 7 frame delay, because the options there to do it.
I would be dragon rushing every second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
6 100%. Left and right.
Yep. If I'm like, oh, this is 9 frames delay, that means they're in 9 frames delay. What can you not react to in 9 frames? I'm that kind of scumbag. I would do that.
It's that famous broken tier t-shirt that's been around like 2012. Like nerf, nah, buff, nah, adapt. You gotta adapt. And that's what the best fighting game players in the world are so good at adapting to certain situations. Also, of course, I wanted to touch upon the meta. There's one character that everyone loves or either hates, and that's the one and only Ultra Instinct Goku.
You mean everyone hates and you love, right?
I love.
Okay. I'm gonna. Honestly, might be a hot take. I don't think he's as bad as people keep saying. And I'm gonna use one word, and it might not be applicable to France because of the whole thing we just said. Online. Online. I think online is a big part of the success UI Goku has gotten since he's been released.
I disagree.
Change my mind.
UI Goku fundamentally is a broken character. Yep. Like, that character, I play him. I really like his design and the thought behind it. But fundamentally, he has so much going on in terms of defense that it makes the character, I think, a bit too strong. I would like
that I will concede. That I will agree with.
I want to just before Dunk goes off, can you disprove what JayFree said? Because he just said online makes UI good. So what about?
It won't matter. It won't matter offline, bro. It won't matter offline.
Why?
Okay.
Let's say you're in a situation, right, where you dash block at someone and you catch the DP, right? Mm-hmm. In normal terms, right, if SSJ Vegeta DPs you and he guesses wrong, he's gonna die regardless, right? MDP, death. UI Goku has a complete other level where it's like, okay, now that I've done my DP, you're going to have to guess. And even though there are ways to circumvent it, there are absolute ways to circumvent it, pretty much it's a guess. And then if you guess even slightly wrong between DP level 1 or DP, what's the other one?
Counter
super.
Right, if you get even slightly wrong, your pressure is gone. You go back to neutral, where UI Goku I think is one of the best characters.
Yeah. So real quick,
that situation doesn't change online or offline.
So would you say that giving or taking away that option for UI Goku to cancel into a super or a vanish or whatever, would that be a positive change?
He shouldn't be able to cancel into the damage, like he should be able to DHE into the, not DHE, cancel into the counter, but not the other level 1. That other level 1 is like that takes away so much risk from the situation. And Roshi is the same, man. Roshi is the absolute same. Roshi is fraudulent. He does what's it called? I forgot the name of it. But he does his DP and then vanishes afterwards and laughs at you. That is silly. I think they've been adding
you can still 2H that vanish though. I'm pretty sure you can.
I think you can, but like it's weird because you can call assist afterwards.
I have one question, JayFree.
Sure, go ahead.
Isn't every character better online than offline?
Yes.
I like the argument.
Yes.
Better online than offline.
Generally, yes, but of course, that this is only one part of UI's kit, but he has, of course, the grab. I think online grapplers are a lot stronger than offline because you do have that element of a little bit of delay. And of course, UI's grab is pretty fast. It's decent. It's not Broly. It's not Bluku. But those are also two characters that, in my opinion, get stronger online because there is that extra bit of delay that you need to process, and because you need to jump away from those grabs, otherwise you get hit. You cannot block this. You get hit. And
yeah, but that's the thing.
That's
it's
the same.
Sorry,
Let me just finish this
real
quick. That's the same reason why Dragon Rushes are so strong online, and 6Ms as well, because you need to react to them. So go ahead, Nick. That was my point.
Yeah, but with UI Goku, you have to guess if it's a grab or not. Otherwise, you block in the air, and then he has plus frames, and he can just still continue his stuff.
I mean, he always has plus frames with the bus driver. Yeah,
boys, Brooklyn.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
But what would y'all change about UI to make him more fair, if any?
It's also what Jury says in chat just now.
I'm going last, by the way. Again, if
you told UI's grab is slower, but if you jump too early, you get hit by the 214L, and that's a TOD with Spark. That's a good point. That's a very good point. If you hit someone with a bus driver and you have 2 assists available to you, opponent's character's dead. It's easy as that. I will also concede that point. I would say take away the plus frames on the bus driver. That being +3.
I mean, no.
There's a big gap, bro. You'll take like that is a big risk.
Can I suggest something? Not UI player here, by the way. Bus driver should be a sliding knockdown.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, to be honest.
Keep the bus range, sliding knockdown, because the problem with bus driver is when it hits, you have so much time to confirm and spark and kill that character. That's unreasonable.
But should it be sparkable? Should you get a
no, just sliding knockdown. Just straight sliding knockdown. So if you can go bus driver super, you shouldn't be able to do bus driver spark, kill the character.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the plus frames. That's good for you. You took a risk for doing the flip because you got to hit out.
That's a good point.
So yeah, I'm not. Or take away the scaling. I prefer the sliding knockdown or take away the scaling. That should not be an M scaler.
Yeah, I will agree with that as well. Because the thing is, UI's damage is probably the highest in the game. Well, not probably is the highest in the game. If you have 4 bars, most likely you're gonna kill a character. Whether you confirm when it's a 2M, you're definitely gonna kill a character because UI has like the easiest non-sparking TOD in the game. Like I can do it; it's that easy. But I would say take away his damage, take away his opportunity to cancel into super from the wake up DP. Having a wake up DP, like the special wake up option.
The elbow, the
special tech option. You should not be able to cancel it into a super. I think that's a little bit stupid, or like a lot stupid. Only like allow him to vanish cancel it. So it would be on par with other regular DPs. And of course, you can still punish that if someone vanishes that. As I take away his damage, I agree with you, C4 takeaway. Give the bus driver a sliding knockdown after the hit, even after you spark, because like characters like Trunks, when they do Shining Slash, they get a sliding knockdown, but they still can cancel into spark and continue the combo. So make it a guaranteed sliding knockdown, and take away his damage and change the DP so it could not be cancelled into super. I think that would change a lot about how nutty people play UI Goku, because people play him very careless.
Yeah.
I think that kind of the design philosophy I look around UI Goku and the way he was made makes me think of Bardock. If Bardock hits you with Gut Punch, you're going to die. And I'm okay with that. There's a big gap in between. It's highly reactable. It's okay. If I get hit by the Gut Punch, I deserve to die. I deserve to die.
Real quick, Dunk, you can't cancel Gut Punch into a command grab. That's the biggest thing.
No, you can't. But they are... How do I phrase it? I think people have got used to the command grab now. I don't think it's as bad as it was on release. I, for one, like, when I play UI Goku now, like, a lot of people are just jumping the flip, like, jumping the command grab, right? So I think I had a knee-jerk reaction as well. I was like, this is busted. It should not be in the game. But after people got used to it, I think it's not that bad. My main problem is just on defense, like, having to apply pressure against UI Goku is too tough right now. I think it's the same with Roshi. Like, those kind of characters where you can just bloody spin the wheel on your wake up options, I don't think they're healthy for the game, because it feels like you have to have at least one of those characters on your team, so that if you are ever put in a position where you're locked in the corner, you have a way out. I don't think he should be. That's the only enough I would give him. The damage, not damage, sorry, the options he has on defense. I think the 214L, if it hits you, if someone sparks, I think you should die. But otherwise, it's 214L and call an assist to get confirmed or vanish. So it's not even that bad, like, in most of the situations. If they spark, you die. They spent sparking. You have to hold that. I don't think it's that bad. But I think there are, like, UI is very strong. I don't think you can deny it. What, he's 3 for 3 now in nationals?
4. Yeah, 3. Never mind. Yeah, 4.
3 for 3 right now in nationals. So, I think he's... But I will say, he's the most interesting character that's come out in a long time.
Yeah,
I think he's really interesting.
And he is super fun as well.
I'm saying he's interesting.
I just want Nick to go and then I'm going to go. I'm waiting. I'll wait.
Okay. I was going to say, first of all, I think he's interesting because he brings a lot of new stuff to Dragon Ball FighterZ that wasn't in there before, but I think they could have spread that more across multiple characters, but they all just threw it on one. But I was going to suggest that if he keeps his if he keeps his DP, right, that he can cancel by using Vanisher level 1s, I think that is a game mechanic that's on nearly all characters anyway. So I think it's fair that he keeps it. However, a way to nerf it might be just let it cost 1 bar.
What, to do the DP?
Yeah, the wake up.
The wake
special
up,
DP.
the tech.
That's a good. I don't mind that.
Just make it cost 1 bar, and then you can cancel it whatever. Because at least you take a little bit of risk, and you lose potential of killing. Because when it costs a bar, there's also the fact that there is no
there's no meter gain.
There's no meter gain after that.
I agree with you, to be honest. I like that.
That's a good change. But
it kind of...
Sorry, go ahead, Doug.
It kind of changes how people have to choose to play UI Goku. Like, especially if you have a point. If you get hit first and you lose neutral immediately and you don't have bar, you still kind of have to hold that mix-up. I like that, to be honest. That's a decent change.
And it's also, like... sorry, C4, I know you wanted to go.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool.
It's a lot of mathematics. It's a lot of risk versus reward. Do I want to spend that 1 bar I have in order to get out of the corner? I do understand where the frustration comes from, because you want to mix up your opponent, and when you want to go for an IED heavy, an instant overhead, or anything else, you want to do a meaty, you get blown up for it. And I do understand where people are coming from, saying that's frustrating, which is you got a hit, you got a clean hit, you got a combo, you got a knockdown. Why can he profit off of that? I will concede that is kind of busted, and that's why Goku breaks the game a little bit. He's not like people say he is broken, and he does break the game, but he breaks the game because it changes the way you want to play that game, and you can look at it in a positive way. A lot of people see it negatively, and now that you guys have brought up those points, I almost will agree that DP was a little stupid, or still is a little bit stupid, and is most likely going to receive some changes, because we don't know what Arxis and Bandai Namco are changing right now, because we don't even know if there's going to be a balance patch with the release of the next character. Actually, I think we're going to see a balance patch next year.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Because
Season 4.
Yeah, season 4, because they did like the whole one patch a year thing. Season 2, that pretty much blew up in their faces. That was not fun. Season 2 was not very fun, especially at the end.
I liked it.
I mean, I see why
He's an 18 player. He's an 18 player.
Yeah.
Of course he likes it.
But Season 2, I mean, Season 1 was great because we were all riding that high because, like, new Dragon Ball game, woohoo, yeah. Season 2 was not fun, and I think Arxis did learn from that. But introducing a patch this late, even after, like, big official tournaments, I don't see it happening. I can see a Season 4 patch, of course, when Season 4 comes out, but not before that. But what would, realistically, because we talked about changes, we talked about changes that we want to see, but realistically, what changes do we think we are going to see? What we are going to see Bandai Namco and Arxis implement? Because I do think there's going to be a big difference between those two.
Can I quickly do the UI change?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So for me, the sliding knockdown thing's cool, but more than that, I want people's attitude to change. I don't think UI is that big of a deal. I think he's the best character in the game. But you know who was before that? GT. You know who was before that? Cell. You know who was before that? Bardock. You know who still is? Kid Buu. There's always a character. There's always a gatekeeper. All the things that you've brought up, like everyone's brought up, I've been listening, and I don't want to sound like the old guy. Like back in my day, we were just good players, whatever, right? But elbow, you can low profile it with 2Ms. Most 2Ms low profile it. The DP, yeah, it's very annoying that you can do DP in the super, but you know what you can't do? Whiff DP in the super. Make it whiff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is like an old man thing. I see something and go, if it's a problem, if you can't avoid it. If you can avoid it, it's not a problem. Then it's just strong.
You need to adapt.
Those two things you can adopt. Yeah, you can adapt. You can go, okay, I'm going to go for a 2M meaty. If they uptick, I can recover in time 2H. If they do elbow, it's going to whiff. Then they can't cancel the super, and I'll get the recovery frames and get a 2M punish. DP is a little bit harder. I play Krillin, so it's easy. I just do after image. Everyone should play Krillin then. That's not my fault you don't play Krillin. But there is ways around the things that are strong. I feel a lot of people don't want to adapt in the nicest way possible. When you have a flowchart that's strong, and that's your win con, what you have to do to win, you are going to do everything in your power to do that. When something stops you from doing that, you're like, well, I can't deviate from how I win, because then I'm not winning. But they are... Cell was the first one like that. That's why everyone cried. They were like, if I go for this and it's not airtight, I get perfect attack, spark, and I die. Why? It'd be like that. You've got Bardock, who just lariats, catches you trying to up back, kills you. GT just kills you for whatever reason. He just hits you with auto combo LL, and then you die, and does mad damage. These characters that have been like broken, all they do is stop people's flowcharts. And I think that's the main reason why people don't like them. Or why they become broken, because you have to change how you fight them. UI is just another character on the list. Videl kind of got that, but that's only because of Hellzone. The things that make Videl really strong, no one really talks about. 5L into Beam, into Self-Confirm, is actually unreasonable. That's broken. Because no one else can do that. No one else can frame trap with a beam and a confirm of it on their own. In mid-screen. That's stupid. But no one talks about it.
Before we get into the topic I wanted to touch on before, I come from Marvel. My background is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That game got one patch. And that was like 2 months after launch. That game is 8 years old. One patch.
Yep.
We had to deal with Virgil, Zero, Morrigan, Doctor Doom. All these broken-ass characters that ran the game for, like, the better part of its lifespan. And we saw a small resurgence of Marvel. Like last week, a couple of weeks ago with Marvel Lives on Max's stream, which was great. I loved it. We saw a lot of different teams. And I think what you said, Z4, I completely agree. People just want something to bitch and moan about. They want something to complain about. And I think...
Cool. If you think it's team mode, keep bitching. Just go into team mode and bitch about it. That's what I ask.
I think, while I do agree with you guys, I come from a background of no fighting games. I come from League of Legends.
Same.
I come from League of Legends, right? And Nick will know, Nick, did you play League?
Yeah.
Nick will know was it season 3? We had this guy running around called Cassidon. And he was nicknamed Cassa Win because if the enemy team didn't ban it and you picked it, you basically won the game. And they obviously had to patch that kind of stuff out. I am okay with immensely broken things being completely patched out. I have no problem with that, right? I do think there's a problem when people want things to be patched out without giving it time to settle first. Because what happens is, in League, you have certain characters who get nerfed, right? They get nerfed because an item is strong, and then when they nerf the item, they're left weak. And I don't want that to happen to any characters, right? I don't want UI Goku to get nerfed, and then people are like, actually, wait a minute, it wasn't that bad. I do think right now, he's in a precarious place where it's like, the meta changed from being like oppression to being more neutral based, and it gave you a lot more opportunities to mash out. And funnily enough, he has a lot of ways to mash out, right? But I do think there are some things that don't make sense about him, right? Being able to do a DP, like when you think about it, like risk reward, right? You talked about, you can just make the DP whiff so we can't cancel it. Okay, he rolls the thing again. You made it whiff. You make the DP whiff, but now he's coming at you with the elbow, right? So you can't cover all of the options at the same time, which is fair enough, right? You can't cover making DP whiff and also low profiling the...
you mean on Wake Up?
Yeah, on Wake Up. You can't cover all of this.
Mm-hmm. You can. Use
every single option?
Use an assist.
Okay, no, that's fine, because every character can do that. I don't mind that. Every character can do that. Like, that is something you have to learn in the season. That if you really want to lock someone down in the corner, the best thing you can do is use an assist to do it.
Better play 18A assist. Covers both of them.
Yeah.
I'm not being a dickhead to Dunk. I'm just saying, like, for me and Jay, like, it's obviously what broken is different to what I think Dunk and NickVee thinks broken. After playing Marvel, when you think about it, nothing's broken because there is an option, even if it's like 1 in a million chance. Even if you have to be like god tier reactions to do it, there is a chance. And I think that's what you guys think broken is, where it's unreasonable. We just think it's unreasonable.
Nah, I think the problem is, right, you say Marvel vs. Capcom has this and this and this and this character. There's like 10 characters that are broken, right? But in Dragon Ball, it's just one. I think only
it's like
one
a sore thumb that sticks out.
Is broken. I mean, it's not really, because let's be real, Z Broly, etc., Blow Goku, whatever.
Kid Buu.
There's only one, and I think that's the majority of people that say, okay, only UI Goku is actually broken. I think at that point, your mindset is like, okay, this one character is broken, so he's really cheap, right? I hate him. I want him nerfed. I think that's the majority of mindsets.
I feel it's propaganda because literally you can go on Twitter like a week ago and people were saying, "Oh, Z Broly's broken."
Yep.
I mean, it's true.
Like,
Blue Crew's still broken, by the way.
Blue Crew's still
broken, and no one will look at him. No one is
nerfing. Kid Buu is immune from nerfing. Since I think he had one change where it was a buff, but since the inception of the game, he's only been nerfed. Only been nerfed. So I know what NickVee's saying. Most of the time it's UI, and I think it's because most people are playing UI. When most people picking Z Broly, when everyone was swapping one character for Z Broly, everyone spoke about Z Broly. 100%. I agree with you. Now everyone, Kaiden's dropped Cooler for UI, Shudan's done it for UK Nationals. Everyone's got a pocket UI. They play their original team, they lose a couple of games, pick UI, and then the L turns into a W. So you're like, well, this character's just carrying everyone on his shoulders. I get that. I definitely see that. I'm not gonna disagree with Nick there.
Yeah. Okay, so we bitched enough about UI, or unbitched about him enough.
Really? Yes.
I think it's pretty clear what our opinions are about a certain character. But now I want to touch on UI-ku, because he probably is going to get the most changes upcoming patch, that being maybe later this month, early January, or even Season 4. Because we talked about what we want to see changed, but what do we think is going to be changed? Because Dunk said there is a certain design about UI Goku. There is a certain way Bandai/ArcSys want UI-ku to be. They want him to be a cool character. They want, or like even need him to be a strong character, because he is arguably the strongest character in the anime. So when people that don't know shit about fighting games pick up UI-ku, they think, oh, this is the strongest character, he should be the strongest. So I think there's a little bit of that as well.
He's a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite. He is next to like regular SHA Goku. He is the poster child of Dragon Ball right now at this moment. So I think we listed a lot of changes that we want to see. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some changes to like the DP, maybe his damage output, stuff like that. But I don't think we're going to see all changes, because UI Goku is also in that spot that when you nerf him just a little bit too much, he drops down like a bunch of tiers. He goes from like top tier to like mid tier, not even like high tier, mid tier. And I think Bardock is one of those characters as well. He's very hard to, well, he has. I think he's a good place right now, but give him 1 or 2 more nerfs, Bardock is trash. IMO.
I agree.
So what do you?
I think it's.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I think it's more like a situation like Kid Buu, right? Where he has a really, really strong kit that you can. They only want to buff or nerf it in the numbers. They don't want to buff or nerf it another way. So I think UI Goku will stay strong with the kit that he currently has. I think the only thing that will happen is either they will turn something into a sliding knockdown, or they will make something cost a bar. Or they will make something a little bit more negative in the frames. I think that's the only things we can expect.
So you think a UI is going to see more like frame and damage wise changes instead of inherent changes to his kit, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think his the bus driver will be an L scaler, for example.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I honestly, like, I look at the game now and I'm like, and I might have like I think I look at it as if everything like didn't happen, if coronavirus didn't shut down the whole world, how would Dragon Ball be? And I think this is one of the healthiest metas we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there isn't any surefire way to just say I'm playing the game and you're not playing the game. It really shows the skill in people. And I don't want too many changes about Dragon Ball, to be honest. Like, I don't have people like are like, yeah, Broly's amazing, blah blah blah, this that. I don't have a problem with him, to be honest. The only thing I do want them to do is like maybe make command grabs a little bit more negative, so you have to like actually think about throwing them out, right? Make it easier to punish without super dashing, or even if it's not punish, make it so if I jump out of a command grab, someone can't just 2H me, lock me back down, and then run their mix again. But from a whole perspective, I think Dragon Ball's in a really good place. The only thing that sucks about it right now is A, the netcode, and B, there's no real tournaments going on.
Will we see rollback in Season 4?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see NickVee violently shaking his head.
I don't think so. But can we talk about leaks here?
Like, go ahead.
It's not a leak. Okay, so I've heard things. It's not a leak, but apparently the same guy that said that there was going to be a Blue-Ku Kefla dramatic finish before we knew that has said that I won't say who the next DLC characters are going to be according to him, but I will say that he said that Season 4 will start with a character and crossplay between PC, PS4, Xbox.
No, don't put me with them degenerates. Don't.
But they might.
He didn't say netcode. He only said crossplay.
But that could work. I do agree with Dunk. Like,
No.
don't match me up with PS4 players, please, for the love of God, or even Switch players. Nah, fam.
Oh my god! Imagine.
I already said I'm gonna stick to
You guys think
people
PS4
I know.
is bad? Yo, I own this game on Switch. I go online when I'm bored. It's basically the equivalent of self-harm. Like 7-frame delay is the norm on Switch.
I mean, I've already said that if that happens, and hopefully that's a bigger if than that it being a truth, I'm gonna stick to training mode. I'm not gonna play online except when I know the player and he's playing on PC that I know he is playing on it.
I mean, it would be cool, but give us the option to look for people with the same system. And I would imagine that if crossplay is going to be a thing, that they are for sure going to put that in. You can choose if you want to have crossplay or like be on the same platform.
If they don't give us a Wi-Fi detector, they're not going to give us.
I mean, they're probably gonna, because Tekken has it, and it's Bandai Namco as well. So I would imagine they put a Wi-Fi indicator in, especially because people have been bitching about Wi-Fi like in every fighting game, especially like Dragon Ball and Smash are like the two biggest fighting games where people bitch about Wi-Fi the most. At least when I look on Twitter, they are.
Yeah.
It took me nearly 2 years to convince people to start playing Dragon Ball on PC. Because it was a better experience. And obviously now like all the nationals apart from Japan, all the nationals apart from Japan are on PC. Right?
That's because they can't buy the game on PC.
Yeah, which sucks for them.
Yeah,
not my problem. But I'm not gonna, unless I know the person, I'm not gonna play with people on PS4. That's just silly. Yeah. Like, I that having crossplay being introduced before rollback is a slap in the face, because it means they were working on something, just not what everyone has been asking for. I don't care who I can play with. I don't care if like it's a very small pool of players, as long as the games are good. I played Them's Fighting Herds against people from Australia, people from the US, and it was amazing. And then I played with people from the UK. It was even more amazing. Like,
basically offline.
At the same time, like, it's not gonna, the netcode isn't gonna help anyone's net be better. So anyone whose net is bad is gonna struggle. But I would rather have a good experience for the good people that I know already. I'm not trying to play PS4 with people who are.
This has been an eye-opener. I disagree with Dunk a lot, apparently.
JayFree, ban that person in chat.
I'm on.
What did you disagree?
I think having the crossplay is definitely more important than the rollback.
No, but it's not about like, because I think for a game survival, I agree. If you want a game to survive, I think crossplay is a must.
Cool.
You must have crossplay in 2020. However, you didn't start with crossplay. I've been asking for just decent netcode across the board. When you fix that, I think crossplay becomes better, right? Because if you look at things like MK, they have crossplay, they have good netcode, so it works. I don't think you can have.
What about Street Fighter?
Street Fighter, you know. Street Fighter.
But you have to use that as an example.
Street Fighter is bad netcode though.
But it has crossplay.
Yep, and it's alive.
And it's got CBT, and it's a hell of alive. Even though for the first 2 years, people were saying it's like the worst Street Fighter ever known to man. It never got anything good said about it, but it had crossplay.
It's alive, and I agree. Yeah, crossplay is very important.
What do you mean it's alive?
Street Fighter 5 is alive.
Yeah, it's alive.
What do you mean by alive? What do you mean by alive?
People are playing the game.
Okay, if Street Fighter is alive, what's Dragon Ball? What's Dragon Ball if Street Fighter is alive?
Dragon Ball is also alive.
Life support. Because Street Fighter is definitely bigger than Dragon Ball.
Yeah. No. Dragon Ball is definitely on life support, and it's Damascus and Tyrant are there doing CPR, trying to keep it alive, bro. Dragon Ball is definitely on life support. I will agree with you. But
I think I think crossplay. I think this question is obviously said to people playing the game. So the FGC.
Yes.
You know, the FGC is like 10% of Dragon Ball.
Agreed.
YZ.
Yes.
So, and the whole, I get it. Now I'm on PC, but I was also a PSN player. The elitist stuff about, I was happy with it. When I got on PC, I played Dunk and said this doesn't feel right because it's what you're used to.
Yeah,
it's what you're used to. That's how I see it. So yeah, it is better on PC because it's more like there's less delay. But if you're used to more delay, like most of the Japanese players are, where they're playing on PSN and not bitching, they're just playing on PSN. Goichi's getting hit by 6Ms and he's just like, it'd be like that. Fenrich doesn't though. But yeah, Goichi is, and it'd be like that. The crossplay is something to keep people occupied, right? While they're not going to fix rollback. Because like Dan said, if your connection's bad, rollback ain't going to save you.
True. But if my connection is good, it's going to help me play people from America. That's what I want.
Them doing that for you isn't earning them money, is it?
True. That's why it's a bad business. It is. I was going to say before, it is a bad business idea to bring rollback in and not crossplay. Yeah. I think it's a better business idea for crossplay because you're merging your player base, right? So you pump your numbers up basically, and no matter what platform your player base are getting the game on, you know they have people to play with, right? But as a player, I would like to see rollback netcode first, right? That might be a little bit selfish, I guess, but I want to see rollback so we can see more like cross-continental matches between people. That is what I want to see.
I get it. It's just that fine game players don't have money, so they're not going to cater to fine game players. It makes no sense.
I want to touch on that before I want to close this topic, and because we're almost at time, I want to get y'all's character predictions for the last topic. I want to touch something real quick. Dark just said in the chat, play some with a potato for a PC, and then tell me PC net play is better. I think that's a big point. There is a small subset of PC players that just have a toaster, and the game literally runs on their machine on 30 FPS. Which literally is going to introduce a lot of lag. The thing is, PS4 might be worse, but I think PS4 is a lot... Could be, I'm not sure, because I haven't played a lot of PS4 netplay. I think there are a lot less variables when it comes to PS4 netplay, because everyone has the same system, everyone's using the same graphics settings, even though there are none. On PC, you might play against someone that does not have a good PC, and that does influence the online play as well. So I think even though PC netplay is objectively better, there might be a lot of more variables to the online experience, because there is a big variable when it comes to user systems as well. My configuration is a lot different from C4's and Dunk's and NickVee's. And if those systems are good, we got no problem. No big deal. But when you got 100%. Someone, when you have someone with like a 560 that's trying to run at 1080p max settings, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, the worst PC game is by far harder to play in than the worst PSN game. But the top PSN game is like the average for a good PC game. Like it's ranges. PC has a massive range of good to bad, where PSN is like in the middle, but consistently not very good. But if you get used to it, then that's all you know.
Also, you cannot F11 on PS4.
Can't F11, yes.
Give me F11.
Tournament standard, by the way. Tournament standard.
I've got 2 words for Mace. PS4 CBKs.
They were just hard to run. When the games played, which I wasn't involved in, they seemed fine.
They seemed
fine. I mean, Tyrant done 100-man PSN tournament. The players are there.
Yeah, but he was a commentator. He didn't have to play that.
And we're talking about Tyrant. We're talking about Tyrant, like one of the biggest EU commentators. Has a huge audience.
Yeah,
people will be drawn to that one.
When's the last time anyone saw a 100-man PC tournament? I'll wait.
Hey Nick, how many entries had your tournament?
The maximum was 80 something.
Nice fight.
We got close.
Close. Nice 5 got 100. You sure?
Maybe, probably.
Oh, PC players. We need 100 players in the next good ass rank.
You'll make it happen.
Tyrant
next year.
Tyrant did it. He's already done it. Think about that.
We need to make that happen. Anyway, I want to real quick, because we're almost at like max time. Real quick, we all know most likely there's going to be a character reveal next Sunday. Real quick, who do you like? Okay, 2 picks. Who do you want to see, and who do you think we will see?
Damn,
you go first.
So who we're gonna see probably in my heart that I have to come to terms with is Omega Shenron. Probably, I think that's what we're probably gonna see. In terms of characters I want, I don't care anymore. I got Kefla in 18. I don't care. You could put anyone in the game. But I would like to see like another one of the Pride Troopers, like Dispo. That'd be really cool.
Nick, go ahead.
Well, not going to talk about the leaks. What I think will be happening, because there's been a trend of Dragon Ball Super, right? There's Kefla, there's UI Goku, and there's Roshi in the Super outfit. What I think, or what might be happening, is Toppo with the Goal of Destruction stuff. Hopefully, that would be crazy sick, by the way. And maybe a wild one, Ribrienne.
Ooh,
okay.
Very wild. But what I want, honestly, and it's the opposite of Dunk, is Omega Shenron. However, I have Kefla in 18. I don't care.
The waifu lovers, they have their waifus. C4, sorry, go ahead, Nick. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I just said degenerates.
All right, C4, go ahead.
I think, I don't know if it's my heart or my head saying this. I think they're gonna do a throwback and they're gonna start doing old characters. I know,
like Dragon Ball Z or like Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z, maybe not Dragon Ball. They've got most of the Dragon Ball characters for the most part, or they've cameoed, like Roshi having the Jackie Chan stuff and all that. Yeah, so I think they're gonna go back to Dragon Ball Z. I want Margin Vegeta. I know he's not coming. Just give me the old costume. That'll be fine. I'll be happy with the old costume. I think it's doable because Margin Vegeta does have a lot of different moves to base Vegeta, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think they're going to do Zarbon or Pycon.
Reddit, though.
Okay. I'm gonna follow Dunk. We're probably gonna see Omega Shenron because he's been talked about a lot. Twitter, Reddit, Twitch streams, YouTube videos. Omega Shenron is the name that keeps popping up. So I do think we're gonna see Omega Shenron. I also think, because I do agree with NickVee, there's like a small theme of Dragon Ball Super characters. I think Gohan Blanco might make a chance. That would be cool. So
Gohan Blanco, El Hermano.
So, but yeah, I maybe another Gohan would be cool because we got like 6 Gokus, 5 Vegetas, and 2 Gohans. So that will be cool.
3 Gohans.
Do we have 3?
Fidel has one.
Am I an idiot? Oh, okay. My Fidel doesn't.
Great Saiyaman.
Great Saiyaman. But yeah, maybe even a Great Saiyaman. That would be cool. But then again, that's not Dragon Ball Super. That's Z. But maybe another Gohan. But yeah, I think either Omega Shenron is gonna make it in, and if we're gonna go to the Super route, I will agree with NickVee. I think Toppo is gonna make it in. For who I want to see. Okay. So I know it's never going to happen, but I want to see Launch. I still want Launch playable. It's never going to happen. I know it's never going to happen because she's not like a huge character in the anime, but I think they can do so many interesting things with Launch. Like with her changing personalities, with sneezing, changing hair color, stuff like that.
No, sneezing.
But then again, I played Phoenix Wright, so I'm an idiot. I play bad characters.
Objection.
Yeah,
Objection.
Exactly. I love characters like Phoenix Wright that have to play their own little game before they really can get started, because it feels super satisfying when you get those things off. So maybe a character that's akin to Phoenix Wright. So I thought maybe Launch, where she starts off with like blue hair, being calm, and then at one point when she gets X amount of hits, she turns into Angry Launch and just becomes godlike OP. That's what I think I kind of want to see. I also, just for shits and giggles, Judgy Roby would be hilarious. and of course, Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan, I am pretty sure we're still going to see him eventually. Maybe not this season, but eventually.
Bulma in a mech. Oh my god.
Bulma in a mech. And Bulma in a mech, of course, is a big meme. So, yeah, those are my predictions. And with that, I'm sad to announce we sadly come to the end of the podcast. For the first installment, I think I had a shit ton of fun. I want to thank C4, Dunk, NickVee, all you three for being here. I had a ton of fun. Before we end the stream, of course, plug yourselves.
I've got nothing to plug apart from London Brawlers happening Monday, Thursday. Make sure you guys tune in, watch that stuff. And follow the Twitter as well.
Where can we find your Twitter and London Brawlers?
So twitter.com/London Brawlers, LDNBRAWLERS, and the same for Twitch. But yeah, if you follow JayFree or NickVee or C4IQ or myself, you'll find out for sure.
And of course, follow me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/xjfree. Follow now.
Oh.
What Dunk said, don't follow me. I'm playing Pokemon. Like, you don't want to know what I'm doing. I'm playing Pokemon. I'm in the margin for GR and Strive waiting room. If something like that comes up, then start following me. Actually, you know what? Real quick. So yeah, London Brawlers. That's going to happen tomorrow. LDN Brawlers, Twitch and Twitter. I might start uploading some Krillin tech again because Kuba has started playing Krillin, and now some with a bit of clout playing Krillin. Other people might, so it might be worth digging up some of the archives. So yeah, if you're interested in Krillin, then maybe you should follow C4IQ on Twitter.
Yep. All right, great. Of course, I did say on Twitter this was going to be a bi-weekly show, so every other week. But of course, we got next week's announcement. So, and I think NickVee informed me as well that if we're gonna go live at the same time as we did today, this stream would follow up the regionals and the announcement stream right then and there. So there will be an installment of Trash TalkerZ, name not final, stream next weekend. If y'all have interesting ideas for the name of the show, hit me up on Twitter. Twitter.com/xjfree. Go follow me on there. Add me on Twitter if you got a nice name. If y'all do start sending in names and I'm gonna use one, I'll gift you a sub. If someone comes up, here's your incentive. If you come up with the right name, I'll gift you a sub.
That's a GG.
You can use one emote on stream.
Free emote.
You get a free emote. So yeah, use that as your incentive. I want to thank once again everyone for joining me. C4, Dunk, and NickVee. Thank you so much for being on stream. Thank you for the viewers. I want to really quick, because I had notifications turned off, and I saw some people throwing in a follow. So I want to shout those people out real quick. Of course, NickVee and Dunk, and of course Ricksta. Thank you so much for the follow. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Any of y'all got some closing remarks?
Hey, Jake.
Nerf you are Goku.
Bring baby Vegeta with us. Golden Ozaru level 3.
I'll take baby. Where's the GT characters at? Oh, Shenron. Yeah, that's one of them. All right, yeah, baby G as well then. I'm down for it. I'm getting ever so close to margin. Ever so close.
All right, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same channel, for a new installment of Trash TalkerZ. And y'all have a nice 2-hour remaining weekend. And see y'all later.
Peace.
In a bit.
Bye.